I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Oh, super women. I love this time of year. I get to chat with so many of you applying for the feminine mentorship. Love you, like literally laughing out loud, texting with a couple of you today. And it's amazing to me how many badass boss bitch women there are out there and how much you tolerate and how much you do. And like it is extra this holiday season because there's so much to do for all of our loved ones. Anyways, love you all. Love the DMs. I love talking to you because it's just then I don't feel like I'm here talking to myself. Speaking of speaking to so many of you, I heard this 3 times just yesterday, all from some very self-aware women, 2 applying for the mentorship, 1 private coaching client. They've all done a ton of work on themselves. And something that they all said, when things slow down, there's always something. I'm realizing that I need to make the time for this because it isn't going to just happen. If we have peace, then I add something. I create the chaos. It's like I can't stop. Well, Superwomen, you are running on empty. We're going to talk about the pleasure tank today. I want to kind of ground these concepts and let you know why you feel the way you feel and what we can do about it. And you have something in common with Kim Kardashian. In the most recent season, she said it was the new year or their Christmas holiday or whatever, but she was saying like, I'm going to slow down this year, going to take it easy, really enjoy. And then she takes on more and can't stop. And even her mother, even Chris tells her like, I'm worried about you. You're going to burn out. This is a classic superwoman pattern. We don't stop. We don't know how to stop until we are crusty. Our tanks are empty. We're chasing something. Makes us amazing CEOs, managers, mothers, teammates, but it can make us very bad at sex and intimate relationship. And those super women, those of you that are great at sex because you are high achievers, and men men have always given me compliments. Sex isn't the problem. It's all the other stuff. It's feminine burnout stuff. It's the empty tank stuff. We might have an A+ at sex, at checking the box sex, but not on intimacy and fulfillment. It's a performance. It's an ego thing. It's a doing it right thing. It fuels our yang. And if you listen to part 1 of this series, what every high achieving woman was never told about intimacy and connection, you will learn more about that, the yin, feminine, yang, masculine qualities. And yes, it is not that simple. And that's what we're going to get into today. Like, oh, just be more in your feminine and kumbaya. Well, if it was that easy, we would have fucking done it already. That is what I like to call unicorn fart marketing. So if you have not listened to part 1, though, please do that. Before part 2, we talk about our energetic opposites, yin and yang, how we need both, how we're overfunctioners, we attract underfunctioners, why couples therapy does not work for superwomen. We like to blame that our partners are avoidant and we're like the anxious fixers, but really we are avoiding ourselves and our desires. That was part 2. And today we're going to talk about what is missing. Like we're going to start putting this all together. Do you ever wonder why you have so many things to feel grateful for, but you are still not fulfilled? The pleasure is missing. You used to be funny. You used to be fun. You used to be warm. You used to laugh for no reason. Or maybe we have so much good around us and we just can't receive it. We don't let it in because we're striving, we're Kim Kardashianing it. My daughter's been sick. I've not slept well in 2 weeks. Please forgive me for the brain farts. We've talked lots of farts today, we're talking about. So we have the pleasure, we have the good stuff, but we can't feel it. We can't be present with it. We can't let it in. I'm going to show you why you're not fulfilled, and I'm going to use an analogy, the pleasure tank. So this hopefully really starts to hit home. And this is why we don't feel connected, why we can almost have like repellent energy, even though we don't like to admit it. But we're not home. We're not a safe place for people. We are like a fixer, a doer, a CEO, but we are not that like soft, feminine love, warm, feels like the sun. People want to be close to us. It's like, no, our kids are fucking hiding in their rooms on their iPads because they know we're going to snap at them type vibe. And this is a two-way street. Our men is probably not emotionally available and they have their work to do too. This is not like I'm not saying that this is all our fault and it's everything we need to do to fix, but I'm talking about us, about our side of the street, about our fulfillment today. So, since we have a bit of a better understanding of the energy dynamics, yin and yang, attracting opposites in our relationships, couples therapy not working, I want to talk about the realities of being a crusty superwoman, why we do not have the fulfillment, the energy, the connection that we desire. We wonder why the self care that we're doing is not providing the same relief, relaxation benefit. We wonder why we've done a lot of therapy, personal development work, but we're still having the same fights on repeat. The same patterns are showing up in relationship or with men. And let's be real, like lots of people stay because they don't want to leave, or they stay because they don't want a second divorce. But nothing is worse than the purgatory of being alone together. Let me promise you that. Teammates with no spark and a dash of resentment. How come you can't turn off your brain and relax and enjoy? How come you can't transition from CEO to wife, mom to lover? It's just like we've got one gear, feminine burnout. Why can't we relax, be present with sex, with life, with the good parts of life? When we try and relax, our brain is so busy, can wake us up from sleep. Why are your orgasms short? What about what you used to do for diet and exercise is not working? And I know you've done the things, you eat pretty well, you're active for the most part or compared to others, but you don't have the results you want. Or maybe you've neglected your health totally for a while because you've been so busy. Doctors say your blood work is fine, but you're not sleeping. You don't feel connected to your loved ones. You're not as happy as you think you should be with everything that you have to feel grateful for. I've had the pleasure of connecting with so many of you, and I'm hearing the same thing on repeat. I just don't feel like myself. I'm not as happy as I used to be, or I'm not as happy as I should be. How am I here again? Honestly, I don't know if my relationship is salvageable at this point, but I want to do this work for me. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy? Do you ever wonder how you do so much for so many? How you have so much to feel grateful for, and you still feel disconnected, unfulfilled, lonely, exhausted, and like you're taking the breaks. You're way better at boundaries than you used to be. You take Fridays off. You even say no sometimes. And yes, the learning, the growth, the work that you've done, that means that you haven't had a complete mental fucking breakdown yet, which is amazing. But what's missing? How are you always doing, but you don't feel supported? Not in partnerships, not in friendships. Why are you crusty, snappy? Things come out a little sideways. You kind of wish you could take it back after. Crusty is a phase of feminine burnout. Listen to episode 114 about how to save your health in relationships. I did an episode a while back about the woman who can't be nice to anyone. And I'll be very honest with you. We're going to talk about the pleasure tank today. And my tank is too empty to go back and look. I'm recording this at 9:30 at night just so I can get it out for you all. So even when we go on the date night, we go on the vacation, we'll see it at Christmas. We just want to lay around and watch Hallmark movies, but we will be, if we allow ourselves to feel, there will be a void. Something will be missing. And that's why I want to talk to you about the pleasure tank today. So a lot of this stuff can feel very ethereal, like, oh, just go into your feminine. And I'm talking to like boss, bitch, get things done women about changing it up. And I know that that can repel many of you. And there's a lot out there on the internet. It's kind of messed this up. It's like the toxic positivity. Put your mask on first. Okay, like we get it, but how? Like, how do we actually do that when we are over functioning, people pleasing codependents? The issue is that we don't fully see the depth of the problem. Women were popcorning, like I call it. Everyone kind of has their ahas at a different time on the pleasure principles call today. And they were realizing that they couldn't see their own blocks. Because if they could see their own blocks, they are intelligent, resourceful, scrappy women. They would figure it the fuck out. And this is where I come in. I am brilliant at diagnosing the blocks, applying Chinese medicine theory, over 2,000 patients, clients that I have had in the past 9 years, where I can see the patterns and apply the diagnostic framework of Chinese medicine to these issues to help restore balance. So I'm going to talk about that today. First, so I want to say this is not in a shamey, blamey way for us as women because it's almost infuriating. It's like I do so much and you're telling me there's more fucking work to do. Like you want to scream. We've been raised in a system that has rewarded our perfectionism, our overworking, systematic suppression and denial of our true feminine and sexual nature. We're attached by wounding from childhood, gender roles, patriarchy, domestic violence, that we are all so soaked in, we don't even see it, which is a big part of the reason why we're unfulfilled. Why 1 in 2 women globally suffers from sexual dysfunction. Why women are 2 times more likely to be prescribed an antidepressant than men. Why we think we have to earn our love, earn our pleasure, do it all. Make sure everyone's needs are met before our own. The partners that we end up with, we talked about this a little bit in part 2, but we see these patterns, overfunctioner, underfunctioner. You ask them to do something, they do it for a little bit, it ends up back on your plate, or you have to manage it or oversee it, or they play the victim, or we are gaslit. Super women get gaslit all the time. Or we gaslight ourselves. We gaslight ourselves out of doing the thing that we know that will help us, like working with me, like the feminine mentorship. I see it all the time. Your work, it speaks to me. I can't believe it. It's like you're in my head. Nothing has described my life in this way to an understanding. It's like you're in my head. And then I mean, not all of the time, but some of the time, then it's like, oh, well, should I do this? work? Should I make this investment in me? I'm scared. I'm gonna be happy with what I have. And I get it. I've been there. But I want to talk to you more about why we do that. And because we're taught to be, we're groomed to be the caretakers. We're groomed to deny our own needs. We're groomed to let people around us underfunction. We're groomed to survive on crumbs. And some of the women that I work with, their partners have full on personality disorders or are in active addiction. So there's like a little bit of nuance there, but super women are in some level of toxic relationship, especially if you have feminine burnout. People's needs are not being met. This hurts. It causes loneliness. Loneliness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Like, this is negatively impacting you and your health and your productivity. We need to stop fucking denying it. We need to pull our heads out of our asses and be like, okay, I'm not healthy. I'm not happy and I'm not fucking fulfilled. And it's time to do something about it. And I want to reiterate, we are raised in a system that supports the not meeting of women's needs, the abuse by men. And sometimes this is well-intentioned men, but we are so soaked in the culture of the gaslighting and the codependency and the overfunctioning that we do not see it. And then we wonder why am I so exhausted? Well, enter the pleasure tank. We're going to talk about how we can get you to start seeing, how we can start making this actionable, and why your shit from the past hasn't worked. One of my clients wrote in her reflection about the feminine mentorship, in 1 year from now, you will know and love yourself more. You will feel like before you were walking through life in the dark. We worked on her tank for a year. Okay. She's not in the dark anymore. It's clicking. She's like, I've learned a lot of these concepts before, but it's never clicked. It's never been this easy to make it actionable. And that is because we have a problem, superwomen, a problem that you don't know. Empty tanks from over giving and under receiving. Your pleasure tank is fucking empty, dry as a bone. I remember sitting in Chinese medicine class and they were talking about chi and our energy. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the details of that because I've got a lot of important stuff that I want to cover. Super women try and pour from an empty cup. We give more than we receive. We are left with an empty tank and we still try to give more. So TCM class, they're talking about every day we get the same amount of fuel and we have our choice of what to do with it, how we're going to expend our energy. We can add more fuel with self care. I work with women on their cellular health, their hormone health. It's like topping up your tank with premium gas when your hormones are balanced and you're not inflamed, you don't have nutrient deficiencies. And then this funny thing happens. So they're feeling better, they have more energy, they have thought clarity, and then they burn it out. They do more. So they still end up on empty. So we can add more gas to the tank. We can do less and conserve. This isn't something that we're good at doing daily, like pacing ourselves, having peace. No, we add the chaos, we throw more things on, or we'll have a vacation because we're so burnt out and exhausted we need it. So we're running on empty tanks here. Picture this. We're on the side of the road with an empty tank. And somebody asks if we need any gas. Our immediate response is, no, I'll do it myself. Or somebody asks us to do something else by 5 p.m. And we're like looking around, like, are they fucking kidding? Can they not see that I have no gas and I'm stranded here on the side of the road? And then our next thought is, okay, well, I think I can make it work. We run out of gas, we find a way to keep going. We find another gear. We get out, we walk until our feet are bloody. We buy a pair of designer shoes to stuff our bloody feet in. When our body says no, we don't listen. And this is where we get into the feminine burnout cycle and where we can have crashes. So, early warning signs, we can't lose weight, we can't sleep, we can't feel pleasure or joy. And I mean, I'm not talking about like the quick dopamine hits that we get from killing it in our career. I'm talking about just being fucking happy and present, happy for no reason. So we're burnt out. We don't know how to change it. And we wonder, why are we still in this cycle? Looking around at people expecting that giving, over giving, will end up paying off and they will start showing up for us. That they'll stop what they're doing, which could be gaming, hunting, scrolling on their phone, doing being high, whatever their checked out numbing behavior is, but they're going to just stop what they're doing and go, "Oh, she needs some gas." Or maybe we're like, "Well, demanding, can't you see that I'm out of gas?" Or maybe if I walk my bloody feet across the floor, they'll realize. What if I whine, cry, demand, manipulate, avoid? But eventually we stop asking. Superwomen struggle to ask for their needs to be met when it is an emotional or a vulnerable need, or when we're scared that it will not be fulfilled. The crushing weight of hearing no, especially like it is so hard to hear no when we have feminine burnout. That's why it's almost easier to do it ourselves. It's like we feel like we would cease to exist or we would combust or something. It can feel so painful to ask for your needs to be met, but not have them. Or we're getting help, but then our tanks are so empty, we're critical of the help that we're receiving. So we're over functioning a lot of the times, hoping that the under functioner will step up and do their work. But we will see that the opposite is true. The more we do, the less they do. We end up very far apart, resentful. They feel nagged. They, one of my clients said that her husband wanted a gold star for making dinner one time when she'd done it the last 17 nights. So we need to focus on what we can control, and that is ourselves. Over giving, people pleasing, codependent tendencies when we are left on an empty tank doesn't work. And I'm going to explain why and what the deeper problem is, what you're missing. And yang, the masculine energy, that's the protector and the provider. They love doing for you. Superwomen, we suck at letting people do things for us. We're the I can do it myself kind of bitch. And we need our sovereignty. We need our strength. We need our armor that kept us safe when we were little and not loved in the way that we deserved to be. That the lies that we need to earn our love because we live in a world where we are either too much or too little, where we were waiting for the other shoe to drop. And we are not getting rid of our superwoman. She is a badass. She has kept us safe. But we are going to have to teach our superwoman how to rest, conserve, receive, and take way better care of herself. We're only putting the good gas in from now on. So when we've been given off the I can do it all and then some by myself vibe, as little girls, we're rewarded for it. It's like asking for help. It's almost weak or bad or it's a personal failure. It hasn't worked out. It leaves us feeling empty, exhausted, confused. We feel unseen, unsupported, not cared for, exhausted, resentful, crusty. And then we wonder, what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? This is the energetics of giving and receiving that are fundamentally off when you have feminine burnout. So think of this. Let's apply this to relationships. Empty tank, feminine burnout. Even when we are doing things for other people, our tanks are empty and need to be filled. We are trying to replace our yin. We're trying to replace that energy. So there is an energetic need for our tank to be filled up. People pick up on this energy. It's a yucky energy, a lack energy. Think about this. When somebody asks you to do something and you feel repulsed by the ask, like it's just, it feels off, it doesn't land right. And on the other hand, there are women and people that they ask you to do something and you're happy to do it for them. Those people generally have full energetic tanks. So I hate to tell you, superwomen, and I have been there, but if we have feminine burnout, we have an empty tank. We've got this like lack, repulsion energy, and a lot of it is not our fault. Okay. Like I said, we got the patriarchy, we got all this other shit. We've been over functioning, but our work is to stop over functioning, to fill our tanks. We're like the hungry ghost. I don't know, is that a metaphor, a proverb? I don't know. But the hungry ghost doesn't have a stomach. So it's never full, it's never satisfied. This is us roaming around with our empty tanks, being like, why will people not give to us? Maybe you're told you have high expectations, you're hard to please, you're selfish. And in your head, you're like, the fuck? I spend so much time doing for so many people. And like I said, this is not your fault. This doesn't fully apply for abusive relationships, extremely, extremely emotionally immature and unavailable partners, the invisible workload. Like we are set up for our tanks to be empty. And it is not fair. It's fucking infuriating. But we need to focus on what we can change. Focusing on our tanks, firstly on what we put in, secondly on what we use, and third, which is the most important thing, I'm going to tease you a little longer. Keep listening. If you want to find out what the third secret hidden thing that we can control to fix this problem of feminine burnout. So, for example, when we have feminine burnout, it sounds like someone, a friend, our partner asking us, hey, what do you want for dinner? Where do you want to go for dinner? Their intention is to please you. What is your reaction? You literally can't think of what you want. You're overwhelmed. You got the brain fog. You're angry at them for asking or not reading your mind. You respond in a crusty way. Overwhelmed, exhausted, snippy, can't think. Or we do something for our loved ones, but then we feel resentful because it wasn't appreciated. And from bedroom to boardroom, the way we do one thing's the way we do everything. Let's talk about feminine burnout sex. So if you're having it, some of you are avoiding it. If you're having it, you're having one of two kinds. Sex out of obligation. Lots of superwomen do it to get it over with. Check the boxes. Lots of superwomen don't even really want sex with an under-functioning partner where they feel like they are in the caregiving, caretaking role and not the goddess wife role. Like they don't have a partner. They have somebody they have to take care of. And the truth is, superwomen, we want more. We don't like to settle. So we don't like, we want the goddess sex, the deep, connected, penetrating sex that can happen when you are burnt out and your pleasure centers are off. Or number two, sex out of need, lack to fill a void. Sometimes this is the superwomen with the higher libido than their men having sex because they are empty and we are taking energy in that at that time. And over time, our male partner will start to feel drained and eventually want less sex. So if we're having sex to fill our yin, fill our tanks up, it ends up also being repellent energetically. But if we're having sex from our excess, from our overflow, it's very, very different. So when our tanks are empty, we're crusty, we come from lack, it's from overgiving, people pleasing, patriarchy, so many things. But it is affecting us as individuals, us as our partnership. And we kind of have to heal it on like they're big problems. So we have to heal it on the like individual, relational, and then global level. But super women, you're out there running around on a quarter of a tank or less. I can almost guarantee it. Women with full tanks give from their excess because they have extra to give. It feels totally different. Think of those women. They radiate. You want to be close to them. You have been that woman at times, not when you're burnt out. Maybe you never have. Maybe you've never been a soft place for people around you to land. You're like a fixer, you're a doer, but you're not that grounded feminine energy. You're not home where interactions, even the hard ones, are still fucking connecting and intimate. So, what do we do about this? First, we focus on filling up our tanks, and these are the problems that you can see. We know these things, we do these things. This is our nutrition. So, what are we putting in our bodies? But when we're burnt out, we are craving carbs, sugar, alcohol. We're drinking the alcohol because we're stressed, which then makes us want to eat more carbs. The self care activities, saying no, having boundaries, better time management, having better strategy, hiring more and more help. But it's funny because think of like back to Kim Kardashian. The woman has all the fucking help in the world, still has feminine burnout. Well, in the adaptation phase, not like the crash phase by the looks of it. So, communication formula, couples therapy, these would be like things that we would do to fill our tanks on the problems that we can see, the problems that we can name. And many of us have done these things and we are still not in overflow. We're not in excess. We're still at a quarter tank. It's like, what the fuck is going on? We're better for a time and then we slide back. We're exhausted. We have brain fog. We're overwhelmed. We are not connected. We're thinking, what the hell? I do the things and I'm still not fulfilled. I'm not as happy as I should be. Anhedonia, we know this inability to feel joy or pleasure, not being as happy as you used to. The activities that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. So, and that's what a lot of this stuff out there you're seeing is it's all about fixing the problems that you can see. It's like, okay, I want to lose weight. I'm having struggling losing weight. So I need to go on this crazy restrictive plan and that's going to work. Or I'm going to do what I used to do and that's going to work. But it doesn't fucking work because there's problems that you cannot see when you have feminine burnout. And I guarantee you that if you knew what these problems were, you already would have fixed it because you are smart and resourceful and determined. Some of you are a little too burnt out. Your determination, your willpower is maybe questionable at best at this point, but aside from the point. So we need to focus on the problems we can't see. There's what we put in, there's what we use in our tanks, but the problems that we can't see, these are the holes in our tanks. So it doesn't matter how much we're putting in, it doesn't matter how much we're conserving. If we're filling up a tank with a hole in the bottom or multiple holes in the bottom, it doesn't matter how much self-care, nails, Botox, yoga, vacation, kitchen remodels, new cars that we buy, we're still not happy. We're filling our tank, but not enough to account for what is being siphoned. And some of us don't have tanks at all. A lack of sense of self, not in touch with what we desire, or people pleasing, high functioning codependence, feminine burnout. This is you. I have been there. This is not a shameful thing. It's just the truth. Like we didn't even fucking have tanks. We're just like floating around out there, wondering why nothing feels good and nothing works. So it doesn't matter what we put in, what coach we hire, what meal plan we start, what communication formula we are doing. If our tanks are being drained, if our feminine energy is being drained, we are fucked. We will never be as happy as we want to be. We will never have the relationships that we desire. So our real work becomes plugging the holes that we can't even see because we didn't even know they were there. That's why I get into arguments with superwomen. Not arguments, but I'm like, just smile knowingly. they're like, I know what I want. I just need him to plan date night and this to happen. And they can list out this whole thing from their brain. Like it's not integrated in their body or their feeling at all. It's just all from their superwoman brain. It's all very logical. But then when I ask them like why it hasn't worked or what they've tried that hasn't worked, and I ask them, when in your life have you ever desired something and you haven't been able to make it happen with work, with your career? And then they kind of look at me stunned and they're like, oh, you're right. So maybe I am missing something here. I'm going to give you three examples of hidden holes. There's about 10 that I found. These are in the teachings of the feminine mentorship, but I keep finding a few more as I do the work with more and more women. The first hidden hole in our tank is not being in touch with our feminine vulnerability, thinking our feelings instead of feeling them. Just going to give you some examples of vulnerability. Thinking our feelings instead of feeling them, not really being the most empathetic people because we are inner masculine. We jump to fixing. This is like where we don't have that softness for our loved ones to sink into. We have not healed our mother wound. And I mean, even if your mothers were great, there's still the patriarchy. We need to learn how to drop the I can do it myself cape and learn how to be ourselves. Learn how to be at 70%. Learn how to be too much, too little, to be authentically expressing our feelings in that moment, being ourselves in intimacy, not performing, not people pleasing. We need to be able to take up space. We need to let other people be pissed, be wrong about us. And a lot of this, like opening our hearts, opening our pussies, is scary. It's vulnerable. We learned at a very young age to build walls and not truly let people in. But that's not intimacy. Second hidden hole, feminine power, soft power, our cheetah energy. It's like slow and sexy and lures you in, and you could still fuck shit up if you needed to. But we're receiving, we're letting people do for us. It's a very different type of power than give, 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 give in hopes of receiving. Number three, feminine receiving, sex, money, health. We need to reclaim, like, especially our sexuality. This is a hidden way to fill our tank and be a whole self-actualized person. It plugs holes. This sexuality exploration, and this looks different for everyone, but I'm just talking about healing and integrating the shamed parts of ourselves. My Instagram account got like banned or censored again a couple weeks ago. It's like, even if you think that you don't have any sexual repression or anything, just growing up in this culture, you 110% do. I had a conversation the other day while recording a podcast, and the host like, what do you mean I can have a 1 minute orgasm? Yes, you can. If you learn how to receive pleasure, if we change our relationship to feeling good, allowing ourselves to feel good for longer periods of time. And it is part of what I teach. This is like one hole to plug. Receiving fullness, being obliterated in love, being cared for, being dripping wet, full. 90% of us listening don't know how to exist in that state. And the other 10% have done my program. And when we start learning and things start going really well, then our other shoe drop, our self sabotage is going to kick in. But that is because like we're used to it being hard. We're used to it being a struggle. We're addicted to the struggle. So once we start seeing the holes, plugging the holes, all of a sudden things are going really fucking good. Like I said, then we're going to burn it out. We're going to find a way to create the chaos, which that's another hole that in our tank that we need to fix. So many of you are cute with your resistances. You said last year, I said that I would do your 12-month mentorship program this year. And now it's this year, and I'm finding different excuses. Like, because I'm asking you to fix a problem that you don't fully understand. And this stuff can be triggering because we learned it wasn't safe to take our capes off, to trust, to be vulnerable, that we had to work to receive our love and our pleasure. And that's why you're staying burnt out, or you oscillate from like feeling good to being burnt out again. And also, when we are burnt out or experiencing these crashes, it's also a really good excuse to stay stuck so we don't have to do anything because we don't have the energy to do it. And in a burnt out state, it is scary to make changes. We are in survival mode. So our brain's just like, let's stay in survival mode. But I designed my programs for you, for where you are at. And that if you show up at 50% capacity, if you have some type of superwoman crash, family crisis, etc., you are still going to be blown away by the work. And I know that your nervous systems, the pleasures, like your nervous systems are so dysregulated, the pleasure centers are so off in your brain that we need to microdose our pleasure. We need to incrementally increase and change these things in a way that feels safe, or else you will go back with your capes on and fly away and never come back. If my work speaks to you, apply to the feminine mentorship. There are 5 spots left at the time that we are recording this. And let's be honest, we want it all. We want more. We do not want to settle. We want the supercar. We want the Bugatti, the Ferrari. Do not tell me that, oh, I'm gonna go work on this one hole in my tank. I'm gonna go buy this one wheel and I'm gonna polish that for a whole year because I'm scared. So some resistance is normal. The women signing up to do this work are saying, your work speaks to me. What you're saying is my life. I totally resonate. And they are signing up and they're saying, I'm excited and scared. I'm ready. And I also have no idea what I'm getting myself into. High level superwomen, 12 months, 2 in-person retreats, live skills salons teaching you practices to change the wiring in your brain, your relationship to the feminine, to pleasure, so that we can lug some of these invisible holes. We have live workshops where we deeply go into topics, where women that will say, I've done 15 years of personal development work and I've never had it click like this, with the way that you deliver it, with the community that you create, because it is 15 amazing superwomen just like you. This is an elite level. People have done their work before. And again, I don't, because our superwoman perfectionist brain that probably already wants to escape this work or looking for a reason, just apply. I will tell you, it's like, let's work one-on-one first, or yes, this is amazing. You're going to love it. The women are going to love you. You're going to have friends for life. The application process is as much for me as it is for you. I want it to be a fuck yes for all of us. We're going to find the holes in your tank and fix them. The time is now, because you are going to be in the same place or worse a year from now, and telling yourself that you're just going to, oh, I'm just going to fix my nutrition hole. It's late. It's not going to work. The little plug a hole here, plug a hole there. Okay, yes, you're going to get some benefit, but it is not what you are looking for, because you're looking for the Ferrari. So if my work speaks to you, if you can resonate with 60% of what I say, this will be life changing. And your superwoman brain is going to make excuses, but I want you to ask your heart and your pussy, they will know better. They will know better than your superwoman brain. I even had somebody tell me who's signed up, but I have the money. If this was my business, if this was my kids, I wouldn't think twice about it. But I am feeling resistance. Like I think I'm scared of spending money that's just for me, not on the business. Scared if I fail. I promise if you show up 50%, you are going to be mind blown. Just the retreats. Remember that quote I read? Like, we're not going to be walking around in the dark anymore. It's going to start making sense. Because if I know something, I know superwomen. Practices that you can implement. They are quick, easy. They are not going to overwhelm your already overwhelmed system. And I'm also not going to tell you to meditate for half an hour a day to relax your nervous system or do some shit that I know will not work for you because we can't go from 100 to 0. Like it's just not going to work. The methods are designed with you in mind. They're designed that by the end of the year, your tank is going to be fuller. You're going to be a hell of a lot happier, and you're not going to keep having the backslides to the extent. Because, like, let's face it, life's going to happen. Every once in a while, something's going to come and take a sledgehammer to your tank. It is just life. But we're going to have the tools to repair it and get back up to full faster and faster. And it's going to take something bigger and bigger to knock you off balance. You will be able to give from your excess, from your overflow. You will be a person that attracts, that is connected, that can feel joy and be present. Head to the link in the show notes to apply. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.